I still can't do none of my sound effects. So y'all gonna have to bear with me because I cannot do a single sound effect because I am on the computer. Hey girl, hey. You can see me in that corner, can't you? You can see me in the corner. I like this. I just can't use any sound effects, is all. Hey, Ja, how you doing? How was school today, baby? How was school? How was school today? Y'all, we tapping up the screen. It's because we're on Zoom. It's because we're on Zoom. I wonder what it looked like if I turn sideways. I'm still small, even if I turn sideways. I'm still small, even if I turn it sideways. But I think it's because I'm on the screen. Hold on, let's see if we can look at the view. Let's change the view. See, can we change the view? No, that did nothing. That did nothing. That did nothing. That did not do a single thing. It didn't do a single thing. That's good. I'm glad your day was good. If you're just now coming in the room, please hold down the screen and power share the live. Hold down the screen and power share the live. Coach Gina, welcome in the room. E-Love, thank you for reposting. Coach Gina, thank you for reposting. Hold down the screen and share the live. For every 50 shares that you get entered into the drawing. You get entered into the drawing to win a baby lion. For every 1K gift you send, you get entered into the drawing to win an interstellar at the end of the month. So share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. Let's see who's gonna win the interstellar and who is going to win the baby lion this month. Tonight we are talking about launch plans. We are talking about launch plans tonight. So many people come up with business ideas, they come up with products, they come up with services, and then the launch completely and totally fails. The launch goes left because they do not launch correctly. It's not that they don't have a good product, it's not that they don't have a good service. It is that they did not launch the product and or the service correctly the first time. So then guess what happens? The launch goes completely and totally south. It goes completely and totally south. So we are going to talk about how to appropriately launch a plan because it doesn't matter. Thank you, E-Love, for that ball cap. I didn't even see it. Thank you for that ball cap. It doesn't matter that you wrote the book if you don't launch the correct way. You're going to have a hard time getting people to buy the book. It doesn't matter whether or not you became the coach. If you don't launch the right way, you're going to have a hard time getting people to book your coaching services. So the launch is the creation of the product, the creation of the service is half the battle. The full battle is the launch. The full battle is the launch. So today I am going to give you, or tonight rather, because it's not daytime anymore, I'm going to give you a strategy for how to appropriately launch, If you are in the school community, then I have already loaded this lesson inside of the school community. You will see that you have an explanatory video in the community. If you scroll down, you have a podcast that you can listen to. You have an infographic, you have a worksheet, and that worksheet comes with a prompt, and AI will help you to generate your launch plan, and then you get a day by day plan. So that's what we're going to talk about. This is coming straight from inside of the school community. And so that is what we're going to talk about just as soon as we get this room as soon as we get this room warmed up. We are streaming in multiple places today. We are streaming on the Book of Faces, we are streaming on YT, and we are streaming on TT, all from Zoom. All from Zoom. So those of you that are joining me on TT and you're saying, why in the world is she so small in that little corner? She looks like a little chipmunk. Well, I'm small because this we are on Zoom. So I am live streaming from multiple places. I mean, I'm live streaming to multiple places from Zoom. From Zoom. So that is one subscription that you can cancel if you have a Zoom subscription. You don't need a subscription to Restream. You don't need a subscription to StreamYard. You don't need a subscription to Streamlab. You can stream to multiple places from right inside of Zoom. So we have Wait. She says, "Oh wait, I like that idea because I was just looking at Restream." Well, you can continue to look at it or not. The choice is yours. But you can do the same thing from right there inside of Zoom. So that's really not. It's really not necessary to have that unless it's something that you just really want. Yep. So if you have a Zoom subscription, then you don't need a subscription to StreamYard, Restream, or any of that because you could just Zoom. I mean, you can stream right there from Zoom. So I will be loading the instructions into the school community sooner than later. I'm not promising a date because I already got a whole to-do list and that just got added to my list today. But I will be adding the instructions for how you do that inside of the school community so that y'all can cut down on some of your expenses. Craft Shop, welcome in the room. Thank you for tapping the screen. Ella, thank you for tapping the screen. Faith Over Fear, thank you for sharing the live. We have already worked our way up to 93 shares, and we have got 9.2K tappity tap tap taps. I'm not going to be with you tonight for a long time, but I am going to be with you for a good time. I guess maybe I should add my own live stream to my story. And I guess I should also hold down the screen and share the live. All of those things might be necessary to get this live stream pushed out this evening. So let me do that. The only thing you won't have if you stream to TT from Zoom, you won't have any sound effects. But on most streaming platforms, you don't have the sound effects anyway. So that shouldn't really be a big deal that you don't have sound effects. So if you've got your notebook, then drop a notebook in the chat. If you're going to be launching something in the next 90 days, if you are going to be launching a product or a service or a webinar, maybe you're having a webinar, maybe you're having an event, maybe you're adding a service to your service line. Maybe you're adding a product to your product line. If you are going to be launching something in the next 90 days, type the word launch in the chat for me. If you are going to be launching something in the next 90 days, then type the word launch in the chat for me. Thank you for that ball cap. I want to know who it is that I am in the room with tonight. Thank you, Faith Over Fear, for that ball cap. Y'all are knocking out that goal. I think we're almost halfway on that goal already. Thank you. Thank you for that ball cap. Thank you for that ball cap. So nobody's launching anything. Well, I don't think I'm talking to the right people. I don't think I'm talking to the right people if nobody's launching anything, because that's what tonight is all about. Thank you for that ball cap. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that ball cap. Y'all, let's see where we are. Woo wee. Baby, they've been working on this platform today. They've been working. That thing say $90. I don't know about $90, but okay. They have been working. Well, it's okay. I have some clients that are launching things within the 90 days, the next 90 days. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna teach my lesson tonight so I can put the replay inside of the boardroom for my clients that are launching something in the next 90 days. But I got to get this room warmed up first. Ain't no point in me trying to teach nothing. How long have I been on? Ain't no point in me trying to teach nothing without this live stream being warmed up. She said I was sending caps, but I have a lot coming. Oh, she said I was sending you the caps, but not the other thing. All right, y'all, we've been on for 17 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this party started. We're gonna get this party started. So tonight again, we're talking about how to effectively launch a business, how to effectively launch a product, whether that be a digital product or a physical product. And we're also going to talk about how to launch a service. This is called the high velocity launch architecture. I'm going to tell you that most entrepreneurs, they create, they post, they pray, and they launch, and they hope for the best. They create, they post, they pray, they launch, and they hope for the best. And when the best doesn't come, then sometimes they get just a little upset. They get a little upset, all right? So today we are talking about how to effectively turn that great content, that great product, that great service into actual sales. Because if you do not have a launch plan, then welcome back, Faith Over Fear. If you don't have a launch plan, then it is going to be hard for you to get the sales, because you created, you posted, you prayed, and you launched, and never once did you sit down to come up with a plan. We're going to run through this 2 times tonight. The first time, I'm going to give you a high overview. And then when I come back through the second time, I am Lisa Marie. Welcome in the room. I'm going to do a deep dive with you. So the first time, we're going to run straight through. And then the second time, I'm going to give you a deep dive. So right now we're just about to look at the how, and then right now we're about to look at the why, and then we're gonna come back through and we're gonna talk a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about the why. But there is a science to launching. There is a science to launching. A launch, it is a journey. A launch is not you dropping the link and telling the people where to check out. A launch is not you opening up registration for the webinar or the event and telling people to register. A launch is not you announcing this grand service that you're now offering and telling people to book. That is not how you launch. Because first you have to make sure, that you check to make sure that the market is in need of whatever you're trying to launch. Just because you have this bright idea for this product doesn't mean that that's the product or the service that the market is looking for. So the first thing that you have to do is sit down and validate the pain point. And let's be clear, you need to solve a necessity, not a nuance. A nuance is a feeling. A nuance is a feeling. You need to solve a necessity. And people don't pay for feelings. People pay for anything that saves them time and money. And these days, you'll be hard pressed to find somebody who will pay you to save them from a heartbreak. It used to be back in the day that people would pay you to save them for a heartbreak, but we don't have too many people who are willing to pay for you to save them from heartbreak. So right now, the things that are really the things that are really selling are when you save people some time, or you save some people some money. If you do not use this flow right here, if you do not make sure that the market is in need of whatever it is that you're creating, if you don't preheat the market, meaning breaking false beliefs, this is you're selling the philosophy before you sell the product. So Faith Over Fear came out with a book about heaven, like heaven's team. So she's not selling the book. She is selling the person you're becoming after you engage with the book. So you can move if you're ready to move from being someone who has to explain to your children where people go when they pass to the other side, to your children understanding what happens when people pass on, then you may want to consider locking in with this book. And so she wants to spend some time preheating the market, marinating the market, priming the market before she releases that book. This is where she breaks all of the lies. She tears apart all of the lies that people have been told all of their lives. And then the next phase is where you open up the door. You open up the door and you let people in on what it is that you are what it is that you're releasing. You're still not selling the product. You're still not selling the product. You are selling the person that they are becoming. So those of you that are in the Rise Higher network, you will notice that on the worksheet, one of the things that it asks you is what is your target audience's current pain point? So the only way you're going to do that is to get out there and do some research. Okay. The best place to go and do research is the Red D It. You'll pick up on it later. That's the best place to go and do research is the Red D It. So you understand their pain point. What is the opportunity here? So the opportunity for the Heavens team was to get kids to understand what happens when you cross over to the other side. And then your unique mechanism, how are you going to get children to understand that? For the Heavens team, it was by way of a book. And then you also want to spend some time setting a goal. On launch day, how many products do you want to sell? If you are launching a webinar, I'm going to tell you that 30% is the marker that you're looking for. 30% of the people who register actually attend the webinar. All right. So you will notice that nowhere on here does it ask you what product are you selling. It doesn't ask you anything about the product. It's talking about industry myths. It's talking about the new way. It's talking about the identity shift. So nowhere on here am I asking you to tell me that you're selling a book. I'm not asking you to tell me that you're selling coaching. I'm not asking you to tell me that you're selling lipstick, because nobody cares about the product. All people care about is the person that they're becoming. You have to sell the lifestyle, and the lifestyle should be an increase in time. It should be an increase in money, and maybe a prevention of heartache. So just notice that nowhere on there am I asking you to tell me about the product that you are selling, because it doesn't have anything to do with that. So then let's talk about the launch and pray versus the precision with a plan. Most entrepreneurs, when they get ready to launch their products, launch their business, launch their service, they hope and they pray. They've been hidden away for months and weeks, writing the book, designing the product, building out the framework for the service, and then they just come out the gate. And I really do believe that entrepreneurs believe that just because they launched it, somebody's gonna buy it. And that's not necessarily the case. Your family may buy it because you launched it, but a complete and total stranger doesn't know anything about you. So they have no reason to be invested in what it is that you are selling. So somebody that launches with precision and a plan, somebody that launches with precision and a plan, they know that they're selling a shortcut. So here's an example of selling a shortcut. Stop selling a $40 coaching session and sell a 2-hour week system that cuts their chore list in half so they can spend more time with their family. Nobody cares about your coaching session. What kind of person am I going to become because I engaged with your coaching session? And remember, you're not selling nostalgia. You're not selling a feeling. You're selling me the person that I'm becoming. You're selling me a shortcut. You're selling me the savings of time. You're selling me the savings of money. I don't care that you're a coach. That doesn't make any difference to me. Who am I going to be after I've engaged with your coaching services? If you sell a product, here's an example. Don't talk, if say you sell a planner, don't talk about the paper quality if you sell a $25 planner. Talk about how that $25 planner stops them from missing appointments and saves them $50 in late fees that they've been paying. Notice how one of them you just advertising that you sell coaching sessions and or you sell a planner. And on the other side, you're selling the savings of time. You're selling a shortcut. You're selling a different lifestyle. You're selling me on becoming a better version of me. People will not pay for nostalgia. Nobody is going to pay you to make them feel better. As a matter of fact, when you sell nostalgia, what you are going to run into is people saying, "Well, I don't have the money for this." And the moment that you have somebody saying, "I don't have the money for this," that's your first clue that you were selling a feeling. The first time somebody says they don't have the money for what you're selling, you were selling a feeling and you were not selling the person that they are becoming. Because nobody pays for a feeling, but people will pay for a necessity. So you were selling them a nuance. You were not selling them a necessity. And that's why they turned around and told you that, well, I don't have the money for that. You know, we love to tell people, especially Christians, we love to tell people, well, you'll regain your peace of mind. That's really overrated. Nobody pays to regain their peace of mind anymore. People don't pay for that. But what is it that you don't have if you don't have peace? If you don't have peace, you're probably up all night. So I'm going to sell you 4 more hours. I'm going to show you how you can get 4 more hours of sleep every night. I'm going to show you how when you lay your head on the pillow at nighttime, you won't wake up until the alarm clock goes off the next morning. Courtney, thank you for the reconnection. But if you continue to focus on the product instead of the need, then you're going to have a hard time getting people to buy that. So I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause. We call this a check for understanding. We call this a check for understanding. I want you to tell me, I want you to tell me a feeling in the chat, a feeling, or tell me a product, a service in the chat that goes with your niche. So tell me a product or a service in the chat that goes with your niche. Because I don't want you to leave out of here saying, I'm selling you a coaching package. No, that's not what you're selling me anymore. And I don't want you to say you're selling me peace of mind, because nobody pays for peace of mind. So put your product or your service in the chat, and I'm going to show you how to change that product or service to a necessity, not nostalgia, to an actual necessity. Because when you are selling nostalgia, when you're selling a feeling, people are always going to tell you, well, I don't really have money for that right now. That's not in the budget right now. Well, I would have to go back and I would have to work my budget, rework my budget. Well, they don't have a budget in the first place. They don't have a budget in the first place, which might be why they don't have any peace of mind. So they're not going to go back and sell to Sean. Welcome in. They're not going to go back and look at their budget. You just didn't sell them, you didn't convince them that what you're selling is a necessity. And that's why they just walk away altogether. Okay, nobody has anything they're selling. All right, I'm moving on because I am watching the chat. I'm moving on. So y'all all must get that part. Y'all got that part yourself. Okay, that's great. All right. So this map right here gets you to, so okay, I didn't think y'all had it, but I was waiting on y'all. I didn't really think y'all had it, but nobody saying nothing, so I was gonna just move on. The Advocate Ally GPT. Okay, that's a product. That's a product. What does the Advocate Ally GPT do? What does it do? I know what it does, but the people in the chat don't know what it does. It analyzes IEPs and 504s for accuracy and clarity. And so basically, you're not you're not selling the Advocate Ally. What you were selling me on is the ability. You've been waiting, your child is in the 5th grade, and you've been trying for 6 years to understand what these people say when you sit around that table with them once a year. Well, I'm going to show you how to understand. I have a way for you to understand what the people have been saying about your child in 5 minutes or less. You've been waiting 6 years. So you're selling them time. They get time back. They get time back, and they also increase their capacity. They increase their ability to be able to speak to the needs of their child in a way that people will understand them and take them seriously. But most importantly, you're selling them time. You're also selling them on. You're saving them money, because now they don't have to go get an attorney to sue the school district. They can just use the Advocate Ally, and the Advocate Ally will tell them what the school district should be offering to their child. So you're not selling the Advocate Ally. You're not selling the ability to advocate for your child, because that's nostalgia to them. You are selling a necessity to them, a necessity. So you have to sit down and you have to look at what are the needs. As long as the parent doesn't understand what they're saying, what the people are saying, what's happening to the child? And that's a question. I want you to type the answer in the chat. As long as the parent doesn't understand what the school is saying, what is happening to the child? What is happening to the child? While you type that, let's go to Faith Over Fear. Faith Over Fear says she's selling the Faith Over Fear toolkit in the digital product. Right. Who am I going to become? Who will I be after I engage with that product? Okay. The child is falling further behind their peers. How much does that cost me as a parent? How much does that cost me? So I'm gonna save you $150 a month so your child doesn't have to go to tutorials anymore because they're gonna get what they need from the school during the 8 hours that they're at school every day. So I just saved you $150 by getting the advocate ally. And if you tell me that my child is falling further behind their peers, it sounds like the peers are behind. Yes, there you go. There you go. There you go. I'm getting you the time back to be able to take that vacation in the summertime because your child doesn't have to go to summer school anymore because the school's going to give your child what they need during the school year while they're there. So notice how I pulled it all back. I found a way to pull it back to money. I found a way to pull it back to time because that's all people care about. But it's very noble that you guys want people to care about peace of mind. It's very noble that you guys want people, to care about their faith walk. But the reality is that most people aren't going to pay for that. In today's economy, that is nice to have. It's not a must have. And so you have to talk to me. You have to find a way you have to find a way to talk about the time. You have to find a way to talk about the money aspect. And if you don't know how your product or your service is saving somebody time or saving somebody money, there is a such thing as AI. When you can go and ask AI. But if you continue to go in and let me see if somebody is in here. She left because she can't never sit still. She can't never sit still. Never mind. But faith over fear, all you told me was that it's a faith over fear toolkit, which is a digital product. I still don't understand. If we go back over here and we look at this worksheet right here, what is the pain point? What pain point does that toolkit address? And how is that pain point linked? How is that pain point linked to time and or money? And it's always linked to time or money. Always, always, always. Is she there? Is she typing? What are the consequences? Peace sounds nice to have. Clarity sounds nice to have. What are the consequences of not having the peace and not having the clarity? Because those things sound nice to have. They don't sound like must haves. Peace and clarity don't sound like must haves. They sound like nice to haves. Exactly. Exactly. Because you have to say stop whatever the pain, stop whatever the pain point is. Because the way you have that worded right now, it sounds like that sounds real cute. It sounds real noble, but it doesn't sound like if I'm trying to pick between this and Whataburger that I should choose that over this hamburger that I want from Whataburger. I'm just saying it doesn't sound like I should pick your item over this Whataburger that I've been craving all day long. Just saying. So I'm a model for you how to ask. I'm gonna model for you how to ask. I'm gonna model for you how to ask AI how to relate it to time or money. So faith over fear is selling a faith over fear toolkit, a digital product. She says that it allows people to reclaim their peace and clarity in 5 minutes or less. This sounds nice to have, not a must have. Worded so it is a necessity, not a um not a luxury. So that's why I said you have to think about the consequences because notice what AI is telling you. Notice what AI is telling you right there. In marketing, the bridge between nice to have and must have is built on the cost of inaction. So, what are going to be the consequences if they don't get their peace back? If they don't get their clarity back? So, I'm going to help you, but you're going to have to start thinking about everything. You're going to have to relate everything to the consequences in order to be able to sell it because clarity is nice to have, peace is nice to have, hope is nice to have, the ability to advocate is nice to have. Those are not necessities in the world. So you have to think about the real life consequences. If I am somebody that doesn't have peace, when you don't have peace, what do you do at nighttime? When something is really eating is on your mind, what do you do at nighttime? Thank you for that ball cap, Hope Collective. Thank you, thank you. What do you do at nighttime when you don't have peace? Okay, look at thank you. You're awake. You're awake. So you didn't get any sleep. What happens if you go days and days and days of not sleeping? What happens if you go days and days and days of not sleeping? What happens to your immune system? You end up sick, right? But and that's not why I'm sick. I'm sick because the school thought it was a good idea to take racing outside. Good evening, Hope Collective. So you end up having to spend money on medication. You end up having to spend money on doctors. You end up having to spend money on doctor's appointments when you're unclear. Yes, she says, oh yeah. Yes, you end up having to spend money on medication. You end up having to spend money on doctor's appointments. You end up having to take off of work, use PTO days to take off of work just so you can so you can try to get some sleep at nighttime. When you don't have clarity, you buying anything and everything. You buying anything and everything, but they're not going to buy that product if you don't word it like this. If you keep talking about peace and clarity, they ain't buying it. If you keep talking about peace and clarity, they're not going to buy it. So you're going to have to start pointing out the consequences. What happens when you don't have the peace and the clarity? And you have to make it as dramatic as possible, because disaster is what only that's the only thing that gets people to move. God had to, Noah never would have built an ark if God hadn't told Noah that a flood was coming. The flood is coming. You need to build an ark. It takes disaster for people to act. So the same thing is true now. It takes disaster for people to buy. So if you want the people to buy, you have to really zoom in on the consequences. You got to stop living in the perfect world, because they're not there. To be quite frank with you, they're in hell. They're in purgatory. They're not in the perfect world where you are. So you're going to have to take a trip down memory lane and remember what it was like to be in hell. Remember what it was like to be in purgatory. Remember what it was like to be up all night. Remember what it was like to be buying anything and everything because you was just looking for relief from somewhere, because you didn't have clarity about what it is that you were supposed to be doing. So when you are marketing the products, that's how you have to talk to people. And the thing about it is, what we do when we launch, thank you for that, Courtney, when we launch a product or a service, or even if we have an event, we like to talk about how pretty it is. Oh, look at the cover of it. Oh, look at the inside of, like, preventative maintenance or gym memberships, sort of. Yeah, but if they don't get the gym membership, they're gonna continue to be obese. And if you continue to be obese, you're gonna end up with diabetes and hypertension. And do you know how much diabetes and hypertension medicine costs? And so now you already struggling to pay the bills you got now. Just imagine having to go get a $200 to a $300 prescription every month for some medication, all because you didn't want to get this $10 a month gym membership. They're gonna be like, damn, that is true. I did just go to the doctor and they told me that my cholesterol was high, and then they told me my A1C was high. Oh man, let me go and get this gym membership. Let me go and find the money for this gym membership somewhere. So my whole entire point is that when you're getting ready to release something, you have to sprinkle that kind of information out there. You have to create the need for the product before you ever tell people what the product is. What the you have to build the need. You have to build the urgency for the product, so that by the time you drop the product, you release the service, by the day of the event, the people is lined up around the corner waiting to get into the event because they need the relief. The people is waiting for you to press go live on the website because they need the relief, because you have educated them on just how atrocious life can be without the product or the service or participating in the event. But we get caught up in how things look, not in the substance of things. So right now you're saying, right now you're framing it from a luxury, a toolkit to help you feel more peaceful. No, that's not what this is. This is an emergency exit for when spiritual and mental fatigue start to cost you your focus, your family time, your PTO time, and your business. And notice what I said. When you lack clarity, you make expensive mistakes. You can't lead, build, or create from a place of panic. Peace is the prerequisite for performance. Peace is the prerequisite for savings. If you don't have no peace, you probably don't have no money saved. No money saved. So you have to dramatize it almost in order to get people to see just how necessary it is. In a world that thrives on your distraction and fear, peace isn't a gift. Peace is a requirement for survival. If you don't have a system to reclaim your clarity in 5 minutes or less, you're leaving the day up to chance. This isn't nice to have. This is your daily bread. This is your daily bread. God said that man couldn't live off bread alone. Okay, but I'm not going there. I'm not going there this evening. I'm not going there this evening. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about what you should be doing 4 weeks before you release. 4 weeks before the event date, 4 weeks before you release the digital product, 4 weeks before you 4 weeks before you release the service that you now booking appointments for whatever service. Okay, so 4 weeks before you release, this map right here is gonna get you to the finish line without burning you out. Week one is all about intelligence. It's all about you, the CIA on week one, you, the FBI on week one. You need to find out exactly what people will pay for so you don't waste any money and you don't waste any time. You don't waste any money and any time on a product that flops. So, right now, Hope Collective is planning some event in March for people, for single mothers who are burnt out and healthcare workers who are burnt out, right? And say she don't need to tell them about the event, but one of her posts can simply be if you could get 2 hours to be in a room to hang out with your girlfriends, what would you want to do in those 2 hours? And she's just gonna let the people comment. Nurses, single moms, I want to hear from you. If you just had 2 hours to hang out with your girlfriends, what would you want to do in those 2 hours? Because right now she can come up with 1,000,001 things that these people are going to do at this event. But if those things aren't what the people want to do, then they're not going to come to the event. So before you go down a road making this faith over fear toolkit, you need to seed it. You need to get out there and you need to do some intelligence. And you need to ask the people when your mind is racing at nighttime, what is something that you do or something that you wish you could do to get your mind to stop racing? So, and whatever those people say, then that's what you're gonna go put in that toolkit. Not what you want to put in the toolkit. You're gonna put in the toolkit what the people actually said that they wanted. Okay, and you still haven't told them that you're making a toolkit. The only thing that you still haven't said nothing about making a toolkit. The only thing that you've told them is that you're about to release a toolkit. All right. So then week two, in week two, You need to be preheating the market. You need to be educating them on the effects of burnout, educating them on what happens when they don't speak up for their child when their child is in the first grade. You don't speak up for your child in the first grade, then your child's gonna end up being in handcuffs by the time they in the fifth or the sixth grade. Because that's what happens to children who get mislabeled as behavior problems who really had an underlying issue. I'm telling you what happened because I didn't have to clear the hallways to take kids out of school in handcuffs. So you want to start educating them in week 2 on how those consequences are going to begin to manifest themselves if they don't reach some type of resolution. You you still haven't really told them what you're about to release. All you're doing is educating them. You're shifting the narrative. You're getting them to understand the consequences of not acting at all. So that by the time you release, you already are releasing a product that they said that they wanted because you surveyed them in week 1. Now in week 2, you done already told them what's gonna happen if they continue to walk around without the solution. Then on week three, you want to start talking about people who've already utilized it, who've already utilized the toolkit and they've experienced success. Because before you launch that toolkit, Faith Over Fear, before you launch that toolkit, you want to have, before you launch that, you need to have some people test it out. And you need to have some people to give you some feedback. Did they get more peace? Did they get more clarity? You need to have them test it out and give you some written feedback so that on week three, you actually have social proof that you can start posting. Inside of the school community, you're going to get a day by day plan. Yes, you're going to get a day by day plan. And down here in week 3, you see it says week 3, you see it's telling you what to do. It's telling you what to do down here in week 3. Okay? It's telling you what to do. All right? So, and it tells you what to do for every day of the plan. But you have to go make this applicable. You have to make this applicable to whatever it is that you are launching. But it's going to tell you what to do. And then on the day of, I really want to talk about this one. On the day that you release, the day that you have the event, you need to send 3 emails on that day. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening time. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening time, okay? And I'm gonna tell you what needs to be in those emails. Now, right here where we start talking about moving from people just viewing it and liking your content. We love vanity metrics. Oh, I got 100 likes on there. Well, how many comments and how many saves did you get? Well, I didn't get any of those. Oh, okay. Well, you need to be looking at the saves. You need to be looking at the comments because that's where the data is that you need. What content are the people saving over and over and over and over again? That's the content that is helping the people. That's the content that you want to make sure your product or your service, or your event includes, because the people are saving that content because that content is helping them and they want to be able to come back to it. So, because if you get to launch day and the people are saying, I don't have the money for this, then that means that everything that you did before that, you didn't do your job. You didn't do your job before that to make the people feel like it was a necessity and not nice to have. So how do you sell the shift? How do you stop selling nostalgia and start selling a necessity? Right here. Why 90% of single mothers are in credit card debt. Why 90% of single mothers are in credit card debt. And that might be the headline. And then you want to go on and you want to talk about why 90% of single mothers are in credit card debt. And you may want to talk about the fact how they're not sleeping at night because they don't have any peace, because they're worried about the school didn't close for tomorrow, but my job ain't closed. And so now what am I supposed to do with this kid? I can't leave this kid at home. I can't take this kid to school with me. I can't take this kid to school with me. So the first opportunity you get to take the kid somewhere, anywhere, welcome in the room, Sassy, you just go drop them off because you just hurry up and made a decision because you didn't have any peace. And when you don't have any peace, you end up spending more money to fix the problem. So that is a headline that you can use. Why 90% of blank is doing blank wrong. Okay? Why 90% of schools are implementing your child's IEP wrong. Why 90% of nurses who make six figures are still broke. You see what I'm saying? Then you want to explain the new concept, but you still don't want to tell them what product you are releasing. This goes back to that beginning phase. This right here is that beginning phase. This is that week 2 phase, week 1 and week 2 phase, where you're just telling them, you're educating them, but you're not releasing the product just yet. Now, the pain point is the old way. Your product or your service is the vehicle to get them to the new way. Your job is not to sell, the vehicle. Your job is to sell the new person. Who is the new person that they are going to be after they come to your event? Who is the new person that they're going to be after they engage with your toolkit? Who is the new person that they're going to be after they use your GPT? Thank you, Sassy, for the helmet. Who is that new person going to be? All right. Whoever registers, you want about 30% of those people to show up. Now, we love to give people a discount. But discounts don't increase urgency. And I don't know whoever told us that they did. But discounts don't increase urgency. Value increase urgency. So you're saying, well, what you mean discounts don't increase urgency? Just because you gave me a discount don't mean I'm going to hurry up and buy it. But if you tell me after Friday, the investment increases by $50 to reflect the new value, the investment increases by X to reflect the new value, oh, I'm going to buy it in. Because what I'm not fit to do is pay $50 more. I'm not going to pay $50 more in 2 days. Because if you telling me that you discounted, I'm going to just wait on you to run another discount. Well, if she discounted it this time, she going to she going to run a sale again. So then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just wait around on you to have another sale and then I'll buy. So if you're really trying to increase the urgency, You have to do that the flip. You don't give a discount. You tell them that the price is increasing. And notice I did that. I modeled for that. I modeled that for y'all all last year. I kept telling y'all it's not going to be $9.99 for long. You know, such and such month is going up to $19.99. It's not going to be $19.99 for long. It's going up. It's going up to $29.99. It's not gonna be $29.99 for long. Come 2026, it's gonna be $47 a month. Then all them people sat around, I guess, waiting on me to run a discount. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in discounts. So all I did was keep increasing the price because I brought others in on a founder's price so that I could get data to show that my methods worked. And once I have data to show that my methods work, ain't no discounts. Once I have data to show that my methods work, there's no discount. There's nothing but price hikes after that. You're not getting nothing off. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna do nothing but add to the price the more data that I get to prove that my methods work. But we do it wrong. The more data we get, the more discount we want to give people. No, 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 no. Y'all ain't noticed that the price of the coins keeps going up. The price of the coins on TikTok keeps going up. Most people haven't even noticed the price of the coins keeps going up. You spending more money and you getting less coins than what you was getting before. Why? Because they have proof. They have enough proof. Hey, Plaxi, welcome in. They got enough proof in the pudding now to show that their methods work. So there's no discount. So stop giving people a discount. And as you get proof, you increase the price. Don't decrease it, increase it. As you get social proof that your methods work, that's how you raise the price. I just had to tell this to one of my clients last week. I told her you can start it off at that price, but after you lock in 5 clients, we're going to increase the price. After you lock in 5 clients, we're going to increase the price because you have proof in the pudding now. We know that your methods work. So people don't get to pay less. They got to pay more to work with you now because we know that your methods work. So if you want to increase urgency, the way you do it is you start people on a founder's price. You use that group of people to collect your data. Once you get enough data that says that people like this and this is working, then you increase the price, not decrease the price. That's what creates a sense of urgency. All right. Let's move on. The how to, not the closing mistakes. 50% of your revenue happens in the last 24 hours. I had a webinar on Eventbrite at the end of last year, and the bulk of the people who registered for my webinar, they registered 24 hours before the webinar. 24 hours before the event is when the bulk of the money will be made. So if you stop emailing people, if you stop emailing people 2 days before, then if you stop posting 2 days before, then you're gonna be on a downward curve when you ought to be on an upward curve. You're gonna flatline when you should be spiking because the bulk of your money is gonna be made. The bulk of your money is gonna be made 24 hours before. So you can't get tired and throw in the towel. You got to up the ante. You got to post more. You got to post more. You got to email more right before the event because that is when the bulk of your money is going to be made. All right. So let's talk about the metrics that matter when you launch. Your earnings per lead. So that's the total revenue divided by the total number of leads and the click to open rate. Stop paying attention to views. If you got views and you ain't made no money, what difference does it make that you got all them views? If you got views and you didn't make no money, what difference does it make that you got all of those views? It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a lick of difference at all. So you actually want to look at the cost. You want to look at the cost. And I did this with a client just the other day. That's why I'm reaching for my notes right now. I really need a secretary at least one day a week. If y'all knew how much paper was over here. I made a client, I said, how many people went to your website? And she said, I had 132 people go to my website. And she was very excited about the 132 people. I said, how many people bought? How many people bought? And I think she told me, she said she had four people to buy. Or no, she told me she had two people to buy. I told her that's a 1.51 conversion rate. That the industry standard is 2 to 3%. So she said, well, maybe people just don't want it. It's not that. It's not that. It's the messaging. If the people are coming and not buying, it's the messaging. Because it's not the product, because we already have proof from several people that the product is fire. So it's not the product, it's the messaging that we have to fix. Okay? So you don't want this to be you. So I'm telling you now, you need to fix your messaging on the front end. Stop talking about peace. Stop talking about clarity. Stop talking about, you'll feel better. No, nobody's paying you. Nobody's going to pay you to feel better. They're pretending. They don't care about feeling better. Don't listen to them when they tell you that. They don't really want to feel better. That's just what they tell you. So inside of the school community, after you watch the video or listen to the podcast, whatever your flavor is, on this worksheet right here, oh, I just made that too small. On this worksheet right here, maybe I should just download it and open it. On this worksheet right here, there's going to be a prompt. This prompt right here. And if you take this prompt right here, it's going to help you build your launch plan. So you know what it is that you need to do, so that you know what you need to do for your event. So those of you that's been waiting on me to build your launch plan, you can stop waiting, because your prompt is inside of the school community. You can go build your launch plan now. The only thing you have to insert is the product or the service. Then you have to say what the primary pain point is. You have to say what the relief point is. If that's the pain point, what's the relief point? And then you have to say what your unique method is. What is your unique method? So you got 4 things. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you need to put in here. D Deluxe, welcome in. And it is gonna build, it's going to build your plan for you. So who is number 1 in the room? Hope Collective is number 1 in the room. We're gonna run this for Hope Collective. We're gonna run this for Hope Collective. We're going to fill in the blanks for Hope Collective. To sell a retreat for burnout single mothers and health care workers. My target audience is struggling with taking care of themselves after taking care of patients and their children all day, every day. They are spending money they don't have to compensate for the time they don't spend with their family. Their faith is wavering because they are too tired to even pray. What is a desired state you want to achieve? I want to help them reset mentally so that they can slow down long enough to process the information and make wiser decisions financially and set healthy boundaries. My unique mechanism is a retreat with stations set up for them to engage in self-care for mental and physical wellness. Let's see what she says. And coaching session with me. Let's see what she says. So she's giving you 3 hooks that you can use in your content. 3 hooks that you can use in your content to talk about this. This is 3 pieces of content. She's also talking to you about the old way. Are you somebody that everybody relies on but nobody pours back into? And then the new way, remember that your event is the vehicle to get them to the new way. So they can't get to the new way without coming to your event is basically what you were trying to get them to understand that they need a retreat, a 2-hour retreat or however long it's gonna be, so that they can get here. They need this so they can get here. So it gave you all of that. It gave you the email to send when you have that email in the morning. It gave you the email and both of the other emails that you need to send. And it is also asking, it also is telling you that it will refine your self-care stations for you. So now you can literally take this and build your day by day plan, which I already have in here. So I'm going to say use the attachment and what you produce to build my day by day plan. And let me upload it in here. I know this. Open. So there it goes. There you go. So it says, there go the poll that you need to ask on days 1 through 3. What is the number one thing keeping you from a full night's sleep? What is the number one thing keeping you from a full night's sleep? Then it's telling you after you get those answers what you need to do. Then it's telling you after you get that what you need to do. So it's telling you day by day what you need to do to promote this event so that people see this event as a necessity, as they see this event as a necessity and not something that is nice and not something that is nice to have. Because I'm seeing a lot of people produce digital products, nobody buys the product. And then they want to come back and say that the product is not good. It's nothing wrong with the product. It's the way that you launch the product. Then I have people out here saying that they're a coach or whatever, and nobody is booking their services. So maybe I'm not supposed to be a coach. I don't think it's that you're not supposed to be a coach. Thank you, D Deluxe. I think it's the way that you launch your coaching services. It's the way that you introduce the market to your coaching services. It's not the product, it's not the service, it's not the event, it's your launch that is flawed. And if you don't have a launch plan, what you're going to do is you're going to put a bunch of mess together real fast, and then you're going to destroy your reputation by putting a bunch of mess together real fast. So you need to slow down long enough, and you should be doing this. Yes, it's a roadmap to a successful launch. That's exactly what it is. And all you got to do is go into the school community. All you got to do is go into the school community. The video is 8 minutes long. I think the podcast is 15 minutes long. And then you need to fill out your worksheet. Use the prompt to fill out your worksheet. And then create your day by day plan, and then create your day by day plan. I need to develop a prompt to get those results from Gemini. What results? What results you talking about? What you talking about, D Deluxe? And I can't pull you up either because of the way I'm streaming. Yes, because you work full time. You work full time. And so this join you can join the community, D. You can join the community. But join the community. You got access to all of it right there in the community. But Courtney, it's because you work full time. And the reason why so many women, especially minority women, the reason why so many minority women don't start businesses is because they believe that there's fundamentally not enough time in the day to run a business, be an employee, be a wife, and be a mother. And there absolutely positively is, but you will have to have a schedule, and you got to have a plan, and you got to have somebody guiding you on, okay, you're about to do this, now you need to do this, this is happening, this needs to happen. So that's why I want to say every last one of y'all got an email from me today, because I want to say it was all of y'all, because every last one of y'all is getting ready to launch something. Tanika's getting ready to have an event. E-Love is getting ready to drop another product. Melanie is getting ready to drop a service. Rachel's getting ready to drop a service. You're getting ready to drop the the digital ally. Diane is getting ready to drop a product. I'm missing two people, but it'll come to me later. But everybody is getting ready to launch something. And if you get Tashawn in her webinars, because now she's talking about she want to have another webinar in February. Well, now she don't need to have the webinar to the end of the month. She don't need to have it until the end of the month, because if you don't have a launch plan, nobody is going to nobody's coming to the nobody's going to come to the webinar. Nobody's going to come. But D, you can definitely get inside of the community. I would definitely recommend. It's not even a community. It is a network. It is a network of women who are building businesses, many of which who are full-time employees, wives, mothers, some single mothers, some married mothers. So all of the women in there are managing, some are caretakers. Every last woman in there is managing multiple roles while trying to build a business. And so now you guys see why it was so necessary. It was so necessary for me to take y'all off of my calendar for Friday, for every other day except for Thursdays and Fridays. Because literally today, all I did today, I built two whole classes. I built two whole classes today. I built two whole classes. I sent y'all those emails. I made a contract for somebody. I even called a friend of mine that's an attorney and had her to go through the contract with me to make sure the contract will hold up in the court of law. I made a contract, a permission slip, and it was one oh and whatever it's called, like a service. It was something that outlined the services. But I made all of that, got on the phone with an attorney, had the attorney look at it, tell me what to fix or what to improve on. I built two classes, and then I sent y'all all of those emails. Thank you, D Deluxe. I sent y'all all of those emails. But that's why I had to get my days back, because I hadn't been able to do that. I hadn't been able to do that because I was jumping in and out of meetings. I was jumping in and out of meetings all day long, every day. But today I was able to get so much done because that's what today was for. That's what today was for. Today was literally just for that. This is my schedule. This is my schedule. So y'all thought I was joking when I tell y'all I be having a schedule? This is my schedule as a full-time entrepreneur. That's my schedule. So I only do calls on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I do discovery and activation calls on Tuesdays. I do coaching calls on Thursdays and Saturdays. And on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I meet y'all's needs, whatever y'all's needs are. One of y'all needed a contract and stuff. So I took care of that. I took care of that today. So I'm telling you, D, all I can do is put it on the table. You gotta take advantage. You gotta take advantage of it. But it's a community of women. They all in here talking to each other all day long. They talk to each other all day long. And then we have the classroom over here where you can find all sorts of modules in here to help you. I put one. Now they all want access to this one. They all want access to this one, but it's locked until they get to level 3. So the only way they get this one is they gotta make it to level 3. But this one is gonna give them the step-by-step process to build their own school community. And then I think when they get to level 6, they get all of the prompts that will build the lessons for them. That'll build the lessons for them. So they get the prompts to be able to build their different robots so that the robots will build the lessons for them when they make it to level 6. So everybody was trying to get in here today. People were messaging me saying they couldn't get in. I know you're not level 3. I guess you need to get to comment and get some people to like your comments and comment on your comments, because that's the only way you level up in school. So I can look over here and see what level people are. And then every week I give a gift to the top 3 people in the community, and these are the top 3 people in the community for this week. So then those people will get a gift from me this week for being the top 3 people in the community. But every week I give a gift to the people in the community or whatever. So um chat, Google Gemini was wearing me out today. Wearing me. It said 38% of your members are level 2. So anyway, it was wearing me out today. So yeah. And I'm the only one that's a level 5, so that's why I say 3%. But yep, but I will send you the information. I'll write that down because I need to send it to one other person. But I need to send you the information. You and this other person, so y'all can get in. And then every Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m., we have the entrepreneurs open table from 6 to 7. And that's where if you have a question about something that you're working on in your business, then you can come in there, you can ask your question, and I'll answer your question. So we have that every Tuesday from 6 to 7. And when I log in, they already be in there waiting on me to let them in from the lobby. So they be sitting in the lobby waiting on me to admit them into the room. So people really are starting to take advantage of those Tuesday meetings now. So yeah. Yep. But I will send it to you tonight before I go to bed. But all right, y'all, let's go over our statistics. We had 282 shares. We had 48.8K taps. Tonight I talked to you about the launch plan. I will be talking about the launch plan every day this week. So if you know somebody that is about to launch a business, launch a product, launch a service, share the live with them. Tell them I turn on my light at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, and I will be here to teach them all things related to a successful launch is what I will be here to teach them all this week. So I want to thank y'all for being here with me. I do need four reconnections, if you don't mind. Courtney, I think you did it already, but I still need four more reconnections. So D, can you unlove me and love me back? Tanette, can you unlove me and love me back? Hope Collective, can you unlove me and love me back? Yeah, y'all do be ready to work. It's still saying, did y'all do it and I missed it? Okay, now I got 2. Now I need 3 more. I need 3 more. I need 3 more. Mm. I can't even see who did it. But anyway, it's gonna be what it's gonna be because I'm about to get off of here. All right, y'all. I will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. is what time I will be back. Yes, 9:30. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Then again at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Purposeful RN, thank you for the connection. It's not registering, but oh, don't even worry about it. Thank you for that cowboy hat. Thank you for that cowboy hat. D Deluxe, can you DM me your email address? Because it's not in your bio. Can you email me can you DM me your email address? Because it's not in your bio. Now it registered purposeful RN. Okay, thank you. All right, y'all. So I will see y'all tomorrow. I will see y'all tomorrow.